Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of It's Just Business. I am your host, Jonah Barnes Moore, aka Busy J, and this is my mother, who is also my co-host.
I'm Ina Barnes, aka Busy.
Yeah, that's her intro. It's her.
I
it's
build
her signature.
Anticipation. Oh yes.
Yes. So we want
the people love it.
I'm sure they do. We'll find out if they do.
They do.
Eventually.
They do.
In further episodes, we'll find out if they do.
They do.
But we want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is It's Just a Business, brought to you by JBM Consultants. That is us. That is our organization. And so what we want to talk to you guys about today is innovation, because we operate in the realm of innovation. So we want to give you what is innovation. We're going to talk about why it's important for you to innovate. And then we're going to tell you a little bit about what we do here at JBM Consultants. So let's go ahead and dive right into it.
Let's dive.
So my mother, being my business partner, I drug her into this, and she willingly accepted, which is awesome.
It wasn't hard to convince me.
Yes. So when we think about innovation, what's the first thing that comes to mind, and how would you define innovation?
Okay, so you're asking me for like a Webster's dictionary?
Yeah, like if you had to define
or?
it, make a definition that you're going to put in a dictionary
okay,
or on a website.
So for me, innovation is when you change or improve upon something that already exists in nature or something that is man-made. So you make some kind of change that, when I think about innovation, it improves or makes it better. So you improve upon or make something better that either already exists in nature or something that's man-made. That to me is what innovation is.
Okay, give us an example of innovation. What would be an innovation that you
an example of
an ideal innovation, like what would that be?
And for me, an ideal innovation would be that I never have to leave my home and everything that I want can be delivered to me. That's a great innovation. Or if I think about like using my cell phone, like I've had cell phones, but I use a cell phone, but now not only can I place calls and receive calls, but I can search on Google, or I can take pictures, or I can search the internet, or that's an innovation.
Got you.
That relates to me. When I think about innovation, those are the kinds of things I think about.
Got you.
So when you think about, so what's your definition of innovation? Because
my
I'm curious.
Definition is much more simple. I define innovation as a unique way to solve a problem. Right?
Okay.
It's as simple as that. If you're solving a problem, because when you solve a problem, you're adding value, you're creating some kind of solution, which, that could be saving time, which adds value. That could be saving money, which adds value, so a unique way to solve a problem, given that it's adding value to a person, place, or thing, right?
Okay.
So that's my simple definition. An ideal innovation for me, I would have to agree with you, like, is the smartphone, right? Because it pretty much solved a problem that we didn't even know was there and that we didn't even know existed, but it was something that we needed. So that was the beauty of Steve Jobs and how he innovated, because he gave us a product that we didn't know that we needed.
Right.
And you couldn't really articulate that you needed this.
Right. Or even wanted it.
Exactly. You didn't know if you even wanted it. So that's really an ideal innovation for me. And I think it is for everybody. You know? But innovations can be big or small, right? They don't necessarily have to be this huge company that's been started. There's things that could be a lot smaller that are innovations. Like something small that's kind of simple is, obviously a business model, right?
Yeah.
And so a business model, for those of you who don't know, is pretty much how a company brings its profits in and that process that happens, right? So for example, if you're a retailer, you're a brick and mortar retailer, you got to get people to come into your stores and buy your products. But if you're e-commerce, you got to get people to find your products online and bring it in that way. And then there's always subscriptions, fee for service, pay as you go. Those are kind of different business models that you can use to bring in profits to your company.
All innovations. Yeah.
Right. right? And so you can innovate along those lines. Innovations don't always have to be this big thing that changes the world.
That changes the world. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a smartphone. It doesn't have to be, a delivery service. It can be literally the way, like I'm sitting on my job and and I'm like, this would work better if our company did it this way.
Right.
And that's just, it's not like you're changing the product or the way, but you do create a faster, more economical, more sustainable way to do what you do as the janitor or the CEO. That's all the way through the organization. But it's something that changes and makes it more efficient. It improves.
Right. Adds value.
It changes the way that your company does something.
And you solve some problem that you identify.
Right.
You add value by, implementing your innovation.
Yeah.
So that's why it's really important that companies also continue to innovate.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So now that we've defined it, we can kind of go into why it's so important to innovate, because the smallest innovations that are overlooked can end up being the thing that puts you out of business.
Puts you out of business,
and then you have you scrambling to keep up, scrambling to catch up with the industry, scrambling to catch up with the lead innovator.
Being a late adapter,
yeah, exactly, a laggard. If we're talking about the diffusion of innovations theory, which I'm gonna get into today, but pretty much is company profiles based on how they adopt to innovation, and the laggards are the people that do it at the very end.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's 2012 and you just bought your first cell phone or iPhone or smartphone.
Right. Yeah.
You just decided in 2012, maybe I will go ahead and get an iPhone.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're a late adopter. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of
that's a perfect example of what a laggard is, right? Yeah. So as a company, you really don't want to be a laggard.
You don't want to be there.
As we're going to talk about one of the biggest ones that I think we've seen in this generation.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good example that makes it so that everybody can relate.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can relate to why innovation is very important, mm-hmm. and what happens when you do innovate and what happens when you don't innovate.
Right. And
this is a really good case study.
And it's pretty clear. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the drum roll, please. Blockbuster. Do you guys remember Blockbuster?
Raising my hand. Could probably find a Blockbuster card right now if I really tried super hard.
Everybody used to love Blockbuster. You can stop by Blockbuster on your way home, get a few snacks and candies, and rent a bunch of movies, and then take them home and go watch it with your family. And it was great. That was the norm. Yeah,
let's talk about Blockbuster. So Blockbuster was founded, in 1985? 1985, let's think about that. Mm-hmm. That is all of, 32 years ago?
Close.
33 years ago?
33.
Blockbuster was founded 33 years ago.
Mm-hmm. 1985, Dallas, Texas.
Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm. And now... I don't think there's any Blockbusters anywhere. I think there's only one remaining left in the U.S. and I don't even know where that's at. I think it's in Oregon or something, right? So you're like, what happened to Blockbuster? Because they had it going on for the longest time. They had stores everywhere. They had stores internationally. But
strip mall, every place you look, Blockbuster.
Yeah, and so obviously the answer to this question, what's the norm now what's the first thing you think of when you think of watching movies, renting movies, or whatever? It's Netflix.
You don't think Blockbuster.
You don't think Blockbuster anymore. You think Netflix and chill, or Amazon and chill, as we'll talk about.
Amazon Prime.
And you can go on your own network, your own television network, and they have their own app, and you can watch their videos and stuff like that because they went digital,
Blockbuster,
right?
Not so much.
Not so much.
Which is really interesting, Jonah, because as Jonah and I kind of researched Blockbuster as a case study for why you should and what happens when you do innovate, what happens when you don't innovate. And so they were founded in 1985. 1997, Blockbuster had an estimated worth of $4.6 billion with a B.
Billion.
$4.6 billion in that's 12 years into the company's founding.
Right. 4.6 billion. But what also happened in 1997?
That same year,
Netflix was founded in 1997.
Netflix.
So at pretty much the prime of Blockbuster, Netflix gets started out, right? And so at that time, if you're a Blockbuster, you're not really worried about Netflix. You're like, oh, it's just this little company. Like
they're trying to compete.
Yeah, that's cute. They have movies online and they send them to you and rent it. But that's cool. That's cute. But we're still Blockbuster.
We're Blockbuster.
We're killing it. We're just focused on keeping our bottom line right.
Right.
And so interestingly enough, 2 years later, Blockbuster implements a small innovation, which is their subscription model. Right. And pay attention as you continue to watch our show, pay attention to how many innovative companies have a subscription. That is something
subscription model.
Pay attention to that.
It works now. Get in on it.
Exactly. So, but they implemented that in 1999, right? And so a year later, after they did that, Netflix actually offered themselves up into the year 2000 to Blockbuster and say, hey, can you guys want to purchase our company? We're onto something great. We have a few customers. We have a subscription model, yada, yada, yada. And they offer themselves up for about $50 million.
Million with an M.
That's an M. $50 million to Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. We, Netflix, will sell ourselves to you for $50 million.
$50 million. And they have billions of dollars. They're $4.6 billion. They're making
$50 million.
And $50 million is nothing.
That's a do. You could do that.
That's easy.
Unless there's something under the books that we don't know.
Right. But ultimately,
$50 million, that's a do.
Blockbuster says no. And they were like, nah, we're okay. We're good. Our bottom lines are solid. We're not going anywhere. You guys do you. We don't need to buy Netflix.
Right. So let's break this down to the consumer level. You have Blockbuster. 1985, you have a Blockbuster, that blue card with the yellow writing. You can go get your movies. You can do that. You know where your local Blockbuster store is. You can go down there, get movies, blah, 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 blah. Then Netflix comes in with a subscription model. Now, Blockbuster, I don't know why they didn't see the future. Because if you think about it, because many of us had HBO, Showtime, Cinemax Stars. We had all of that subscription TV that was starting to happen already. MTV. We had subscriptions. So we were already kind of on the page of, we kind of like the stuff streaming into our homes live. But for whatever reason, Blockbuster didn't see that I, as the consumer, am not going to leave my job after working 8 hours on a Friday. I've worked 8 hours. Now I have to go in the rain, walk into Blockbuster, get a movie to bring it home so I can watch it at home. When, oh, by the way, there's HBO Cinemax. Now, Netflix is saying, look, we have a subscription model. People are subscribing to our service. You can acquire us and add that to your tool belt of offerings. They didn't do that. That hindsightedness is beautiful now, but then if only they had known then what we know now.
Right.
Because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get up in the rain and go to Blockbuster and rent a movie. And oh, by the way, I have to bring it back.
Right. And then you have to.
And then you have to bring the movie back. You have to go back.
Right.
Short-sightedness.
And
they were not innovators.
When Netflix was competing at this time, what they would do, they would send it directly to you, and then you can send it back. They give you a little package.
And then you can literally not have to leave home.
Exactly.
You don't have to leave your house. Netflix said, okay, we'll send you the movie. Send it. We trust you.
Yeah.
Send it back.
Exactly.
Blockbuster did not get on.
And they didn't get on board with
they didn't think
anything. And so then 3 years later, right? So that was in 2000. 3 years later, Netflix has 1 million subscribers.
1 million subscribers.
Now
they were Netflix from 1997 to 2003. 6 years. They have 1 million subscribers.
Because of their innovation, their business model, them understanding what consumers really want. And an interesting side note about what you previously said is that the whole leaving, you don't want to leave your house. Blockbuster actually had data saying that people liked running into their neighbors at the store and buying candy and walking around the store. And it's that ultimately you were like, if you're looking at it now, you're like, how did you even come to that conclusion?
Yeah, because the last thing I want to do on a Friday evening is leave work and then have to walk into a retail outlet when I can just go home and get everything I want brought into my home. Yeah. We'll talk about Amazon later, which is a huge one. But the last thing I want to do is walk and then I have to stand in the line and then I'm paying, and then I still haven't fed my child and my family. The last thing I wanted, and Blockbuster had the wrong idea around that.
Yeah, and you got to think at this time too, they were an international company, right? They were all over the place trying to get blockbusters all over the world. So this they really overlooked, but this was a huge mistake in overlooking Netflix, because 3 years later they have 1 million subscribers. That's something that you're like, oh crap, look at all the revenue we could have had, look at all the market share we could have had. The consumer demand is obviously going in the direction of Netflix. Crap, like what do we do now?
Right.
You know?
And so then Blockbuster, a year later, 2004, now Blockbuster offers their services online, but you've already got Netflix. People are bought into Netflix.
Exactly.
They're like, this is so much easier than Blockbuster.
Exactly. People are already transitioning and adopting that innovation. So now Netflix is slowly becoming the norm, and they're like, oh snap, well we can just do what they did. Like, no, they have conquered the market share. They're getting new consumers. They have a subscription-based model. And then now, even if you were trying to go online, you still have those physical stores. Like, okay, so if everybody does go digital, what do we do with these physical stores?
Yeah. Now, our assets, which were our retail outlets, are now liabilities,
exactly,
which is another business model we'll talk about later.
Exactly.
But yeah, now all of a sudden, Blockbuster is stuck with these retail outlets, right, that they have to continue to support, and they're going to try to do an online offering. You can't compete
anymore.
It's too late. You had the opportunity in when Netflix said in 2000 we will sell ourselves to you for $50 million, and you said no. That was a critical place for Blockbuster in their business model. That had they had innovators in their business, had they had people thinking, well, where is the future of our business? What's the future of our business? Where are we really going with this? Because they already knew about HBO and Showtime and Cinemax and all these subscription models. And now Netflix is saying, not only can you do this, but any movie you ever want, we can bring it to you. We'll sell ours. And they didn't get ahead of it.
Exactly. And that comes down to management and the culture of
the corporate
innovation.
culture.
If you don't have a culture of innovation, you're not going to see these things. You're not going to be trying to disrupt yourself and see what could potentially put me out of business, especially when you're the big dog on the block. Blockbuster being the place when you want to go get some movies. Now it's Netflix. Netflix became the place to go when you want to watch movies from home, rent movies, whatever. And they have a huge list that you can access online that made it very simple and efficient.
Because if anybody says Netflix and chill, you know exactly what that means here in 2018. Now, if someone had said in 1999 or 2000, Netflix and chill, no one would have known what that meant. But we now see how Netflix changed this business. And we literally know when you say Netflix and chill, you know exactly what that means. You're going to watch a movie from home. You don't have to leave your house. Everybody's winning. And Blockbuster, unfortunately, they made their $4.6 billion, but they were short-sighted with regard to sustainability, which is why innovation is important for sustainability.
Exactly. And it just comes back to that culture. If you're and this is like a management bad, you guys really messed up. If you couldn't see that this is where the consumer demand was heading. This is where it's going, Even so, it's a $50 million investment. That's not really anything when you have $4.6 billion. Now let's look up exactly how much Netflix is now. Netflix.
Yeah, because it's really interesting. Again, hindsight is 20/20, and we know that. We know that you can look back and do these case studies and understand it. But one of the reasons why we want to talk to each and every one of you and make you aware of who we are is we help you avoid this type of pitfall. We want to help you get into the mindset of innovation, and we have programs for that, which we'll talk about later. But you have to have that mindset, which had Blockbuster had that mindset, it would be Blockbuster and chill. It would be something different. It wouldn't be Netflix, but Netflix came in there, and guess what? Someone's coming in behind Netflix.
Right.
But we're just going to talk about Netflix and where they were and where they are today, which is huge when you think about. So Netflix was founded, I want to say it was 1997. So Netflix was founded in 1997.
Yeah.
Where are they today? And that was they were willing to sell themselves in 2000 for $50 million.
So check this out. In 2017, Netflix brought in $11.7 billion in revenue.
This is what you say, 2000 what? 2017, Netflix is now at what?
11.7 billion.
11.7 billion. So, and that's a 17-year span.
Yeah, but that's just the revenue. How much their market cap and actually worth is 146 billion.
So they're worth 146 billion is their worth. So you're talking about a company that was founded 1997. So literally 20 years. They are now 146 billion dollars in 20 years.
And if you'd have made a $50 million investment, you would kill how much you were worth in 1997 at 4.6 billion, which Blockbuster was worth. Now you have revenue of 11.7 billion and 146 billion asset plus whatever you had on top of that.
Yeah.
It's really, that's a pitfall, a management pitfall, and a cultural pitfall that the Blockbuster didn't have an innovative culture that allowed them to see the future and where consumer demand was going and how big this innovation really was.
Right. And that's why we're here. We're here to help you avoid that.
Exactly.
That's why we're here to help you avoid that. We thought that Blockbuster was really because Blockbuster was Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
And then Hollywood Video was a company. Blockbuster they weren't not smart. They acquired Hollywood Video. They were kind of thinking in terms of how do we get greater and better, but they weren't innovators.
Right.
And Netflix came along and innovated. And guess what? There's another innovator behind them. But that's what we want to do. JBM Consultants, we're here for the purposes of helping you and your organization innovate. Make sure that you do everything that you can within your power based on all the resources you have and the resources that are out there available for you, that you can innovate and be sustainable. That's our vision. That's our mission. That's what we're here for.
Exactly. And so, like she was saying, our vision is to be the innovative consulting company that helps you innovate and sustain innovation so you don't become like a Blockbuster or a Hollywood Video. And then our mission is to bring sustainable wealth and prosperity to businesses through innovation, facilitation, and education. Because through our whole processes and everything we do, we're going along the lines of innovating, facilitating, and educating at the core of us. And that's what we do with all of our services that we offer. So if you are a decision maker in a company and you're watching this video, are you innovating? What are you doing to make sure that you're innovating? How do you make sure that you sustain innovation? Does your company actually have a culture of innovation? These are the questions that you have to take a really deep look at and answer. Because if any of these are no, then you should probably be reaching out to us at JBM Consultants.
Because we will help you get to the yes of every one of those questions.
In all those categories. And so a little bit about the services that we offer. We offer an innovation strategy development program. And that's more geared towards actually developing a culture, helping you create a process for innovation so that you don't get disrupted by some outside company. You're already disrupting yourself. You're already trying to see what's on the horizon, what's in your industry, what's in your marketplace, and how can you organically come up with a process to sustain innovation for your company and for your business. Because
if you are not or cannot identify the innovator in your space, now's the time to strike. Now's the time to become the innovator in your space. If you can identify the innovator in your space, we can help you get to a place where you are innovative and that you are sustainable.
Right.
Through our innovation strategy development program.
Exactly. And so it's kind of interesting. It's like the best way to compete is really to not compete, but to work on yourself, work on your company, make sure that you're solid and that no matter what happens, you'll be okay, you'll be sustainable for the future. So you want to focus on the internal so that's what most of the services we offer are for, internally helping you organically create a process for sustainable innovation.
Yes.
And so we also have basic innovation workshops if you need that. Another great innovation that's coming along is cryptocurrency, obviously, and a lot of people have their thoughts and ideas about that, but we do offer basic cryptocurrency workshops that'll explain to you what it is and possible applications for you and your business.
Yeah, and if anyone knows Jonah, they know that he's into cryptocurrency. It's a big thing. He actually offers an online course for cryptocurrency. If you want to get that, he offers that as well. Just reach out to us.
Reach out to us and we'll let you know.
He offers a course. But cryptocurrency is a big thing and we offer that.
Yeah, and we also offer, if you're a smaller business, right? Say you're starting up, we offer startup facilitation workshops. And that will give you the basics of starting a business, but also help you early on, which is the best thing to do, develop a culture of innovation, know what's out there, know all the resources and tools that are out there that you can implement into your company that can prevent you from being disrupted by an outside company. So definitely reach out to us if you're looking to start your business and you want to know, okay, how can I create a culture of innovation?
Right. It has to be a corporate imperative, a company imperative.
Exactly. It has to be a core competency. It literally has to be built into your company.
Right.
Right. Especially, and it's the best time to do it when you're starting up and you're starting out, because now you don't have to create this huge shift in your employees and the mindset of your leadership. You're already starting out innovating. And so this is like a smaller version of the innovation strategy development programs at a very, very timely place in your company if you're just starting out.
This is we're good. Startup facilitation workshops are awesome.
Right.
We have a great program there.
And also for individuals, we have services for you as well, right? We have career coaching programs. So if you're looking to make a pivot in your career and you just want to take yourself to the next level, or maybe you want to change what industry you're in, we offer career coaching programs. We also offer a 90-day career coaching program, career consulting program, where you really get a hands-on actionable steps to make the changes, to identify where it is that you want to go in your career, and then set you upon that path. Am I saying that correctly?
Exactly right. That's exactly right. That's perfect. And same with the talent acquisition services. Our talent acquisition services will help you, so we can help the individual through our career coaching programs. We can help the corporation or the company through our talent acquisition services. So if you're an individual and you need some help, we have a program for the individual, but we also have our talent acquisition services, which is a program that we offer, services that we offer for the company, whether you're a startup or you're a large company that you need some talent acquisition services. We offer that service as well.
Exactly. And if you don't want to pay for one-offs, or you don't want to, if it's too capital intensive up front, we do the subscription model as well.
We have the subscription model.
We have subscriptions for you. So you can literally subscribe to our service. We offer different packages. Reach out to us and we can cater the package to exactly what your needs are. That way you can have us pretty much on call, and then we can come help you throughout the year with anything that you need. So you'll have access to all these services depending on which package that you get.
And we have great packages.
Yes.
Great
packages.
The packages, I like our membership packages because you save a lot of money if you do the package.
Exactly.
You really do.
Exactly. And that's what we really want to do at the end of the day, is because we know how hard it is to innovate.
Yeah.
And so we want to make it accessible to as many people and as many businesses as possible. Yeah. Because it's for your sustainability and it's for your wealth and prosperity, right? By us doing this and making it a membership and less capital intensive, we're stimulating the economy by giving you the tools that you need.
And when we help you, we win.
Exactly.
We win because we've made a difference in the world. And really, at the end of the day, that's why JBM Consultants is in business. Right. Because we really do want to make a difference in the world. And we see a clear path to helping individuals and companies and corporations to be better. And that's really why we're here. We just want to make it better.
At the end of the day, right? So we want to thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
If anything has interested you, please visit our website, which is jbmconsultants.org.
www.jbmconsultants.org.
Nobody says www anymore.
www.jbmconsultants.org.
Yeah, it's 2018. We don't have to say that. You can just say jbmconsultants.org.
You can
But
say-
if you like www, you can do that too. But I'm just trying to save you a little bit of time because it's 2018. and,
It's all of 3, 4. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. But anyway.
jbmconsultants.org. www. Okay. All right. That's fine.
Yeah, but we definitely want to thank you guys for tuning in to our
Thank you.
very first. This is our very
We're
first
excited.
podcast. And there's definitely going to be more to come.
Yes.
So definitely stay
Because
tuned.
not only are we going to have this, but our merch.
Oh yes, the merchandise is
We
coming
have
very
merch.
soon. You'll see
We're
it.
excited.
You'll see it. We'll make a big announcement out of it when you see it. We'll be
Merchandise.
wearing it. We'll let you guys know on our podcast
Yes.
when we have it, so you can
I'm excited about the
have
merch.
access to that at our store at jbmconsultants.org.
Yes.
Go to click the tab that says store, and you will see the merchandise that we have for you guys. If you want to support that way, always keep watching our podcast. We talk about some really interesting things that I think everybody will like, and I think it's important that everybody pays attention to innovation because we're at an era in time, a point in time that's going to be talked about in history forever because the innovations were coming so fast.
Yeah.
And we want to pretty much report on that and also offer services so you don't miss out on this era.
And did you mention to them also that we're going to have some special in-studio guests?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, we're going to have in-studio guests.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned for that.
So definitely stay tuned with JBM Consultants. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Yeah, follow
wherever
me
you're
on
at.
Twitter. Now I'm Busy E, so I'm on Twitter at busy
BUSY.
BUSY underscore EDB.
Yes, and I am Busy J, so you can reach me at busy BUSY underscore JAYY. They made me add 2 Y's because somebody already got Busy J, but you know it's me. You'll
Check
see
us
it's
out
me.
on Twitter. We'll make sure you get it.
Yeah, just follow the
If
J.
you
Follow
would-
this J right here. It's going to be right here in this corner somewhere. Just look for that J, and that's us. That's us.
Yeah.
So thank you
Okay.
guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If not, it's okay. You know, if you feel some type of way, just get out of your feelings, man. Because at the end of the day, it's not personal for us.
It's just business.